Okay, let's hope this sounds okay. This is the first ever podcast. I'm jumping on the bandwagon 3 to 4 decades after there's any possibility of actually making some money, but I want my grandkids to listen to this. The ones that I don't have. The ones that are in another dimension, perhaps, looking down gratefully at the fact that they're not in this dimension with me. Okay. Well, what we're going to do with this podcast is called Working Class Intellectuals, Scum. No, Working Class Scum Intellectuals. Like a typical working class scum intellectual. I couldn't remember the name of the actual podcast. Hopefully that doesn't present one with a source of trepidation, big words. I don't really care about this. No one's going to listen to it anyway, so this is more of a teething pains. You know? If you've ever been, I just started teething about 3 to 4 months ago. Went through puberty last week, and my testicles didn't actually drop. They receded back into my body through the use of a hammer. And yes, I did pay for this service. I only get 10 minutes to do it. Okay, well, it's a 10-minute podcast. I guess I was kind of doing it before. I'm going to get a Gmail account. This is just the admin's off. I'll put it under my name. I don't know. Maybe not. Or would I? Or should I? I don't know. Just worried about various other stuff. Lawsuits, I think, is the word. So, Mueller has Trump's draft letter on Comey firing. That's the headline, the main headline. Fantastic, eh? Exhilarating. Who the fuck is Mueller? I thought he was a yogurt. I liked yogurt. As Trump's draft letter on Comey firing. Funerals. So that's the thing, Donald Trump. Mueller. Everyone hates Trump except sort of rednecky people in America. Well, there's certainly a lot of people, I know a lot of my friends hate him, even though they don't live in America. I think he does have the potential to morph into a Mussolini type character, if pushed. I don't know if he could ever get away with that. I think my take on it is that Americans, a lot of them are just deeply embarrassed at having this guy as their president because he's ridiculous looking. It's like having Peter Andre as the prime minister. You know, it's literally the country's jumped the shark. I'm sure lots of people have said that before. If not, they should, because it's quite funny. You know, they had made jokes about Arnold Schwarzenegger and all the rest of it, and you know, like the next thing would be a movie star, a reality star, and yes, it did happen, and it happened by Donald Trump appealing to the ethno-nationalism or ethnocentrism of white Americans. Not just them, I guess. Just people who didn't want lots of Mexican immigrants coming over the border or Muslim immigrants trying to blow them up. That's pretty much saying it without too much dressing, or I guess I should apologize for saying it so simply like that, but I think that's basically why they voted for him. And also, you know, to bring jobs back from China, where most of his factories were based. So, yeah, surprise, surprise. And I think the media sort of divided halfway between seeing him as a demagogue, which obviously he is, and also there's an element, but they're also funded by very, very rich people who love the cheap labour that impoverished Mexican immigrants bring. And they also they love the divide and conquer as well. That's definitely, they've over centuries, you don't get to be rich without picking up a few tricks of the trade. So you just get everybody fighting against each other. Never fails. Any people have said it? Not enough. I think they've got to people really have to get clued up into this. That's what it's all about. George Carlin said it very succinctly. Divide and conquer in America. There's a clip on YouTube. You just really succinctly get everybody fighting against each other. So the really rich people can walk around unscathed without any pressure that they might actually have to give up a tiny amount of the vast amounts of money that they have. Why they need so much, I'm not really sure. It's probably because they're competing with each other. It's just within human nature, really, isn't it? Within nature itself, we're just competitive. I mean, interior bacteria are competitive. It's just part of nature, really. I guess it's just a combative struggle for life and ascendancy within the natural world, which means you end up with people throwing urine and feces at each other in various different forms, symbols to hide behind. Just the same old tribalistic stuff. That's all it is. I mean, I've even, that's why it's called working class scum intellectuals. I want to tap into the working class scum intellectual market. I think they're underrepresented. Because there are actually some working class people who aren't morons. Believe it or not, you wouldn't think so the way we are portrayed. I mean, I would call myself working class. Certainly my background, my parents. Unfortunately, I'm too lazy to actually ever done, any kind of, I've done jobs. I've worked. But it's just, I think anybody who didn't go to private school, I would consider working class. And if you went to private school, whatever, it's, your parents put you there. It's not your fault you went there, but I mean, it's, if you only start just hiring other people that also went there, you have to understand that some of us might be a bit upset by that exclusion. It's just the way it is. I'm not just going to sit there and pretend everything's hunky-dory so you get to pat yourselves on the back for how wonderfully egalitarian you are when obviously you are not in any way, shape or form. It's all about maintaining. And this is all societies. I'm sure it's exactly the same in Russia, China. Of course it is. It's always like that. You get the upper level caste. Feudalism, it's just the same old thing. It's just everyone's standard of living, at least in the West, is much higher nowadays. But there's still an elite caste. I don't know, maybe I don't know if I've got enough time to talk about this. Malthus, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Malthusian. I don't even really know what that meant. What it means is, no matter how much wealth there was in society, we always ended up with the same levels of poverty, because when society started getting more wealthy, people had more children, and then we always ended up in the exact same levels of inequality. And then maybe it's just part of human, the hierarchy. Maybe it's just programmed into us that that's just what happens. I mean, it's just, if it keeps happening all the time, there must be something about it ingrained in us. Some sort of genetic component to it, behavioural component. Yes, I'm quite enjoying this. Just hope I'm not having to be funny or anything. Just shooting this. It's only 10 minutes long. That's okay. I can deal with that. Working class scum intellectuals. Actually, I'm not going to put my name on this. The hell with it. I'll be secretive. Yeah.